Hi, I'm Ikari, and this is the RFID system by the numbers. Today, we're going to talk about the RFID system and the problems that we are seeing right now in the news. Kita naman natin that recently, just this week, Valenzuela City Mayor Rex Gatchalian suspended the business permit of NLEX Corporation within the city, lifting starting the toll holiday. So to discuss further about the topic, we have Sir Terry Ridon. He is the InfraWatch Philippines convener and former House Transportation Committee member. Hello, sir.
Hi, Aika. Thank you for having me.
Okay. So we see nga no that Mayor Gatchalian suspended ito parang naging what they call RFID saga no. It started with nung implementation ng December 1 and the mayor actually publicized a letter last Thursday. And then hanggang sa, yun na nga, di ba? Parang ang bilis lang ng pangyayari this Monday. After niyang i-reject, he just gave like a couple of hours to NLEX Corporation para to meet their demands. And among them is yung toll holiday. So what do you think exactly, sir, is the problem? No? Kasi the way I look at this, MPTC sees it as a as a traffic problem. Kita naman dun sa mga statements nila that traffic yung talagang gusto nilang pagtuunan ng pansin, no? But it seems like Mayor Gatchalian sees this as a technical problem, mga glitches, like system issues. And the traffic was only, an effect. How do you make sense of that po, sir?
Well, syempre, Mayor Rex Gatchalian has all his reasons, no, to undertake what he did, no, whether or not he has power to suspend the business permit of businesses within his city. Pero syempre, I guess the underlying question has always been, is suspending the business permit really the answer to the questions of traffic? Is suspending the business permit really the answer to the question of technological glitches? No, so I think that is something that Valenzuela and Lex MPTC will have to resolve between the parties. Ano? Pero I think what is most important here is it really puts into sharp relief the lingering issues, particularly on the tollway problem and the basic policy on cashless tolling itself. No? Kasi nga, like we had been stating, hindi lang ho the toll operators, it doesn't even have to be MPTC lang, even the south side, which is Skyway, SMC, no, parang it's a little bit hard to pin the blame whether on traffic or whether on technological issues on the toll operators. Kasi nga po, how long has been the time given to all of these, to the public, to the toll operators, to basically transition from a mix of cash and cashless to an entirely cashless tolling system? All they had was what? 2 months, no? So the DOTR gave an order end of August, and they said the first week of November, game na yan. What happened there? Everyone was caught off guard, and everyone asked DOTR, and DOTR was basically forced to extend it to December, and I think they're extending it again to January. So it is a reflection of ano ba talaga yung gusto nating gawin dito. And more importantly, I really think no na this is something na talagang parang papogi lang ng DOTR and using the coronavirus crisis as a pretext for it. No, so it's not good policy. I don't have a debate on the wisdom of cashless tolling kasi around the world this has been undertaken, and also around the world it was never about the COVID-19 crisis. No, it was about something else. So I think that point needs to be made at this point.
So do you think it's mali yung timing?
Well, una sa lahat, mali yung timing kasi nga, parang noong August lang ho nila napag-isipan yan eh. Sa totoo lang. Kasi we have scoured all of the regulations of TRB, of a strategic plan of DOTR on toll roads, wala naman na pinag-usapan diyang cashless tolling eh.
There was no vetting, there was no comprehensive study that accompanied that particular order. So basically nakita ho natin talaga nagkukumahog ho lahat. TRB, the toll operators, the public, naghahabol ho sila. O, baka hindi na tayo makapasok, hindi na tayo makapuntang Tagaytay, hindi tayo makapuntang Clark pagka wala ho tayong RFID. Simply because pinilit ho ng DOTR, ito pong basically unrealistic deadline ng 2-month transition. And again, for context, in New York, ano ho yung transition time? 3 taon from January 2018 up until November 2020, ito po nga full implementation ng cashless tolling po nila. And I think wala ho masyadong problema kasi nga nakapaghanda ang lahat, yung pong social license nakuha, yung technical license nakuha din po. Pero dito, what has been the recourse? Pagka hindi ka nakakuha ng RFID tapos parang hindi ka nakapagpa-load, ifa-fine ka. In New York, what has been the response? Pagka wala kang RFID, you can still go through the throughway, which is what they call it. They will take a picture of your plate and then they will send the bill to your house or to wherever it is that your vehicle is registered. So talagang all sides of the matter, like even the questions on where the workers will be placed, will they be placed somewhere else or will they be retrenched? Yung mga ganun pong tanong, that has been resolved. And ito na nga ho, because of the very slim transition phase, we had reached this point of a problem in Valenzuela.
So, do you think this program was ill-planned, ill-researched?
Well, that was basically what we said. It was an ill-advised rush towards making the order and implementing the plan. We also called it a knee-jerk reaction to the COVID-19 crisis. And someone was telling me na, well, it's a legitimate concern, di ba? Why are you objecting to it? Pero my response to that was, well, ito pong this is such an expensive and problematic response naman po to the COVID-19 crisis, when in fact all that needed to be done was to implement social distancing guidelines and health protocols in order to lessen the transmission within the tollway system, hindi po ba? Kaya nga ang sinasabi ko, medyo mababaw pagka all that they will insist on is that this is a response to the COVID-19 crisis. Kasi marami pa naman pong ibang pwedeng gawin within the tollway system to do this, So, wag nilang bulahin po yung mga tao on that point.
But the way I look at this is parang ito na yung opportunity nila. I mean, they did the same for PUV modernization, di ba? I mean, implementing all of those stuff. Plus, itong mga cashless transactions, even requiring this sa mga taxis, right?
Well, alam po ninyo, sa totoo parang strike 2 na yung DOTR, di po ba? Kasi they tried to do this sa beep card eh. And this is, I'm breaking it in this point in this show na, yun na nga, hindi ba? Parang hindi na ho sila natuto. There was a pushback eh. Doon po sa beep card kasi nga, parang pinilit, minadali, so napa-atras ho sila. Ganyan na naman ho yung nangyari dito sa cashless tolling po nila. And I think, unlike what we had stated, wala naman ho objection doon sa wisdom ng cashless tolling. Ibig sabihin, merong environmental outcomes, meron pong operational outcomes, efficiency outcomes sa usapin po na ito. Pero yung pong basic timeline ho talaga ng 2 months. Compare 2 months versus 36 months ng New York cashless tolling system. Makikita ho natin na talagang parang pinilit lang. Ito pong pagpapatupad ng cashless tolling sa mga Metro Manila tollways po natin.
Okay. So, speaking of stickering, since this is one of the problems then or one of the big questions, I guess. So, MPTC is saying that 23% na lang yung kailangan nilang lagyan ng sticker based dun sa kanilang penetration rate or yung total number of average users, average users talaga nila. Sa South naman, at least this was said by Skyway on behalf of the SMC controlled, San Miguel Corporation controlled tollways, mga 15% na lang daw ang kailangan nilang lagyan ng sticker. So I asked before, no, si Attorney Junji Kimbo, sabi ko, kakayanin ba kung maglagay ng sticker until January? So sinasabi naman ni Attorney Kimbo, kaya naman. Feeling nila, ang tansya nila, mga 3% na lang yung bubunuan nila beyond the January 11 deadline. But we are also seeing other proposals from legislators na parang saying maybe it should be pushed back to March. But it seems like the DOTR doesn't want to extend. Kasi ang sinasabi nila, parang ganun din naman daw since they start in August, so hanggang January, ganyan. Kaya naman daw. How do you make sense of that?
Well, I understand the percentages, no? I'd like to ask them lang, and I'd like to ask the OTR lang, ano yung absolute numbers, no? Kasi kung thousands upon thousands so yung pinag-usapan natin, and we had been receiving reports na meron ho silang 100 vehicle limit per day doon po sa mga installation areas. And obviously, yung problema din ho natin, parang hindi ho tayo din tumutugon doon po sa pagtingin din ng publiko. Hindi ba? Kasi talagang inaabala ho talaga natin yung publiko, hindi ba? Parang what I am getting from that message from the OTR is, alam mo, hindi namin problema yung problema mo. Kung wala kang RFID, hindi na namin yung problema. Basta nagbigay na kami, nagsalita na kami, ayaw namin mapahiya, problema mo na yan. I don't think that is the type of leadership, national leadership, that we would want to see from the OTR. Ibig sabihin, kung totoo may nagre-reklamo, dapat tugunan ho natin, di ba? Di ba one of the pillars of infrastructure is also customer service, no? So, kung nakikita ho natin na nahihirapan ho natin pumipila yung mga kababayan ho natin, hindi nila alam kung kailan at kung makakalusot ba sila doon halimbawa doon sa mga appointment times, no? Dapat pag-isipan din ho ano pa yung mga pwedeng gawin. In fact, we have been receiving some suggestions as well na doon ho sa ibang bansa, talagang free for all ho yung in the marketplace po talaga yung pagkuha ng RFIDs. Ibig sabihin, the customers, the clients can basically just get it from anywhere. Tapos sila na ho yung pwedeng magkabit po ng kanilang mga RFIDs, no? Hindi ho katulad dito na parang ang dami pa hong mga requirements na hinihingi. So, all of these things, no, ay dapat hong hinaharap po natin kasi if serious ho talaga tayo to say na we are here for the public and we are serving the public, hindi ho dapat ganyan yung parang policy posture ng Department of Transportation. And I would want to say na I think reasonable po yung March na panawagan po ng Kongreso, particularly because one of the requirements that you would want to see as well for a full implementation is the interoperability. We hope that I think they have signed some of the contracts already, the two providers, no, the two operators. We would want to see, I think, a fast track on the interoperability. And more importantly, na wala na ho yung parang parang added value capture. Ibig sabihin, wag na ho nila katulad dun sa mga mobile phones, no, na parang mayroong mga interconnection fees na tinatawag. We'd like to see na hindi ito exorbitant kung meron man or dapat minimal lang. And at the very best, wala ho dapat interoperability fees, no? Yung pong mga toll operators po natin pag yan na po yung nangyari. So, hindi ho talaga obra at hindi ho talaga katanggap-tanggap yung pong sinasabi ng DOTR na hindi, wala nang extension. Hindi ho, mali ho yun dahil marami pa hong dapat pag-usapan, marami pa hong dapat konsultahin dito po sa usaping ito.
Before I go to another question lang, no, just for the information of our viewers, Skyway O&M Corporation confirmed that autosweep can be used. May interoperability features sila, meaning you can use your autosweep dun sa mga easy trip areas, no? So ibig sabihin ito yung mga NLEX tolls, ito yung mga Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation controlled Pero yung mga easy trip, hindi pa daw pwedeng gamitin doon sa mga south tollways na gumagamit ng autosweep. So tama si Sir kanina, no? He mentioned about signing of agreement with the DOTR and the main tollways operators na meron nga parang user test, no? Parang I think a number of vehicles will be used to check kung paano yung systems, RFID systems nila, kung gumagana ba, vice versa, yung mga RFID tags. So, on that note, ang question ko, siguro, sir, ano bang alternatives na pwedeng gawin, no, since nandito pa technically sa transition period?
Well, again, kung talagang headstrong yung pong DOTR and yung toll operators dun po sa cashless transactions on the reason of COVID-19, syempre, yung mga tech experts had been proposing for like the longest time during this period, yung pong QR payments. And that is something that has been basically acceptable to everyone. Wala hong cash yan. All they have to do is basically just to show the phone, di ba? Pagka doon po sa mga barriers, no? So, dapat pag-aralan din ho yung mga ganyang mga suggestions. Kasi I'd like to know the data on yung pong mga occasional users lang po ng toll roads. Kasi marami din ho yan. Halimbawa, yung maghahatid lang sa airport, yung pupuntang Tagaytay minsanan, yung pupuntang Clark minsanan, no? Is it really justified to require them to get an RFID and for them to like put load, 500 peso load on their RFIDs, no? For example, pupunta silang airport, magkano lang yung gagastusin going to the airport Parang wala pa hong 200 yun, balikan So, I think yung pong mga ganon, there ought to be talagang parang pagpepwestuhan ito pong mga ganito pong tipo ng mga gumagamit po ng toll roads natin. And I don't think RFID po yung best payment mechanism para po sa kanila.
Okay. Siguro, sir, question ko lang, no? What are your thoughts on toll holiday? Since, I mean, nangyari na siya I mean, kung tinignan natin, I mean, toll holiday sa Valenzuela, no? Sinasabi kasi ng iba na there are some groups saying that other LGUs affected by the traffic gridlock brought by the cashless transaction scheme should follow kung ano yung ginawa ng Valenzuela. No? So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, siguro, kung lahat sila gagawin, hindi magkakaroon ng Metro Manila-wide. I mean, yung mga areas, yung mga borders na naapektuhan ng traffic, magta-toll holiday na rin sila.
Well, I received the data on the reasons for the traffic. No? I think a big part of it is that insufficient ho yung load nung pong mga gustong pumasok sa toll system. No? I think there was a gate there na almost 50%. Yung pong insufficient po yung balance. Siyempre, talagang it has a domino effect into the traffic. Pagka ho, you try to go there and then kulang po yung balance nyo in the expectation, for example, na dapat tuloy-tuloy lang po sila. So, ibig sabihin, I think there are more information that are needed to be put on record and for the public to know to determine whether or not the toll holiday is actually justified. And syempre, Valenzuela will definitely justify what they have done. I think on the basis of police power of the state, no? But I'm speaking as a lawyer. The flip side of it is, well, does this not constitute a violation of due process, number one? And number two, does it not, yung toll holiday itself, syempre, these are foregone revenues already. Does this not constitute basically confiscation of private property? You know, so all of these things, I think, as a hypothetical question, yan po yung mga dapat tong pag-isipan ng Valenzuela, pag-isipan ho ng mga local government units affected, and syempre, nung pong mga toll operators din po na pwedeng masubject to another round of toll holidays. Kasi these are the real legal questions that will arise. Ibig sabihin, there are political posturings that has been done, pero pagka ho talaga nagkaroon ng gitgitan, these are the questions that will have to be addressed and that will have to be resolved.
So siguro before we end, no, sir, I just want to ask you. I see some people saying that the Valenzuela case it could be could be a test case of MAGA or the material adverse government action. What are your thoughts on that po?
Well, that looks like material government action. Kasi, syempre, Valenzuela can uh, have their defense all they want that this is police power of local governments and it is enshrined in all of the laws and regulations. No? Pero, syempre, the next question there is, we'd like to see the nexus nga of the suspension of the business permit and on whether or not the suspension will have an effect on the tech glitches. Kasi kung hindi rin lang naman po, what has been served there? Hindi ba? Kasi nakalibre ho yung mga kababayan ho natin. Well, that's nice. No? Pero if the question has been to resolve the technological glitches, to resolve the traffic problem, I'm not quite certain whether suspending the business permit benefited anyone at all.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. We talked about the RFID system, the recent headlines involving Valenzuela City suspending the business permit of NLEX Corporation. I am Aikare, and this is the RFID system by the numbers.